Ben Franklin famously said that if you want to destroy a republic, you end the freeness of speech, the ability to speak freely, to have opinions. We were talking in the first hour about this article that I have posted to the blog, and you can read for yourself. It's called How Science Has Been Corrupted. The Pandemic Has Revealed a Darkly Authoritarian Side to Expertise by Matthew Crawford. And on the evening show, I will be talking about that article and how conformity of opinion has been enforced over the past year such that you're not allowed to question anything. The idea of cancel culture is to take something someone has said or done and destroy their career as a result of it and thereby silence them. People have had enough of this nonsense. And finally, Marketplace of Free Ideas has responded. Ian Pryor is the spokesman and senior counsel for Unsilenced Majority. Ian, what is Unsilenced Majority?
Thanks for having me. Well, Unsilenced Majority is the counterpunch to cancel culture. There are four of us, myself, Mike Davis, Will Chamberlain, and Andy Sarabian got together and decided to create this organization that can really be a loudspeaker for the individuals out there that find themselves really victimized by these cancel culture commandos that really do want to silence people's ability to speak their mind and to offer their opinions. And as you said, the free exchange of ideas, the right to disagree is what America was founded on. And we're seeing it at all levels, whether it's your neighbor trying to cancel you because they don't like the flag that you're flying, or Amazon getting rid of books from their catalog because their woke CEOs and trigger employees don't like it. That is a very dangerous road for us to be going down as a country.
So what do you do about it?
Well, what we do about it is we're out there using our loudspeaker, making sure that stories are written, that incidents are covered, that we help people fight back before they're canceled. I'll tell you one interesting story that just came out on Friday. It was in Fox. It was in the Daily Mail. It was on the Daily Wire. There's a city councilor out in Los Altos, California, Lynette Liang. She's the only Asian city councilor on that council. And in the fall, there was a proposal to have a police oversight board. Now, there's been like one excessive force complaint in 6 years on this police department, but you had these activists, sort of these, I call them wanna BLM, and they started pressuring her to vote for this. And she said, well, listen, I want to see, what the cost is. I want to understand more how we're going to operate this. And they started sending her text messages saying, we're going to cancel you. We know you're racist friends, and we're going to come to get you. And what they did was, and what they've been doing, is calling into city council meetings, saying she's racist, saying she needs to be censured. It is straight up cancel culture. So, I worked with her to get her story out there. That's just one of the things that we can help do, is make sure that when people are being attacked, when people are being canceled, we're going to come out, we're going to counterpunch, and we're going to tell the story the way it needs to be told.
It's frustrating because it's very hard to push back on these organizations because short of boycotting the boycotters, these people are sort of throwing Molotov cocktails into buildings that we erect as a society, and there seem to be no consequences for them. And there is this desire, this guttural, instinctive, atavistic desire to punch them in the face or some way hurt them. And it seems very difficult to do that if police won't stop them when they take to violence, and if they can boycott and cancel and blacklist and all this sort of thing. What do you do to fight back?
Well, I think that by continuing to bring attention to it, the woke movement of these big corporations. Look, while it is tough to execute boycotts formally, just take a look at the ratings for the National Sports League that went all woke last summer. They're in the tank. Whether it's National Basketball Association, the NFL, MLB, these ratings are far from where they used to be. Now, people will say, well, that's because of COVID. Well, the games are still being played. You can still watch them on TV. But people are sick and tired of this kind of behavior. Look, go back to Nike, right? When Nike canceled the Betsy Ross flag because zero-time Super Bowl champion Colin Kaepernick decided he wanted to put social pressure on there. So, I think what you're going to see is a lot of people that have just had it with this are going to stop buying these products. And it's not going to be an official boycott or anything, that organized. They're just going to see the coverage, understand what's going on, and say, I don't really need to support a company that is that far to the left and that willing to bend the knee to the woke mob. So, we're in the early stages of what I think is an inflection point here, where there's a massive pushback against cancel culture. It's not going to happen overnight, but it does require people that are willing to speak out. And if they're not willing to speak out because they're afraid of losing their jobs or, other sort of social pressures that will come to bear, that's what we're there for. That's why we have our loudspeaker, and we can tell their stories in a way that will get it out without, ultimately risking their careers and their livelihood.
The website, unsilencedmajority.org. Key issues: promoting free expression without fear of retribution, worker firings, cancel culture in education, and corporate wokeism. I have a minute left. Tell me about how you attack corporate wokeism. Is it by showing them that the majority of people don't want them caving to that and that we will respond if you do?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, there's any number of strategies and tactics to show these corporations, what their actions are going to, what the results of their actions are going to be, from polling to putting them in the press in a way that they don't want to be in the press. I mean, the last thing that, a Coca-Cola or Major League Baseball or publicly traded companies want is stories showing up in their Google alerts where, they are taking action against people for expressing their First Amendment rights. Now, they've gotten away with it in the past because there really hasn't been an organization or organizations that are willing to do that and are willing to see these stories and make sure that they get publicized. But the more that happens, and the more when you Google this company that's going to show up, they are going to get very uncomfortable. And, I would also say, who's doing their market analysis? Does Major League Baseball think that the majority of people watching baseball want the All-Star game moved from Atlanta to Denver because of a gaslight campaign on voting integrity? I would say no.
You are absolutely right. Ian, I wish you the best of luck. I love Will Chamberlain over there. He does great work. Unsilencedmajority.org. Go there and sign up.